We've got LG's new 27GN950-B 4K 144Hz gaming monitor in the office, and we've put it through the ringer. It's an impressive gaming monitor that supports VRR, and with its high refresh rate and 4K resolution, could be your next gaming monitor. Hey, I'm Alex, a tester at Ratings.com, where we help people find the best products for their needs. Make sure you subscribe to our channel for the latest videos, or check out our website for the full review. The LG 27GN950-B is a great gaming monitor. It has an IPS panel with an overall great picture quality, excellent motion handling, and both FreeSync and G-Sync support, so no matter what sort of graphics card you have, you'll be able to use VRR. First, we'll look at the design of the monitor, and then move on to the picture quality. We'll look at the motion handling, input lag, and then compare it to other competing models that are currently available. If you'd like to skip straight to our test results, then see the links in the description below. The design of the 27GN950-B is very similar to the other LG UltraGear monitors. It's got a V-shaped stand, but it isn't too big and won't take up too much room on your desk. It doesn't have much in terms of ergonomics since it can't swivel at all, which can be annoying depending on your setup. On the underside of the monitor, there's a joystick and a dial to navigate through the on-screen menu. Like the other UltraGear monitors, it's mostly plastic, but it's tough and well put together. There's a good selection of inputs on the 27GN950-B. There's one DisplayPort 1.4, two HDMI 2.0s, two USB 3.0s, an analog audio out, and a USB-B port for updating firmware and using LG's UltraGear Control Center software. The DisplayPort is able to make use of DSC, which is display stream compression, that allows for higher bandwidth resolutions. While testing, we found that the UltraGear Control Center software wasn't working on our model, but there's a new update coming soon that might fix this issue. I also want to mention the update because it's supposed to add an overclock option to the monitor, allowing it to reach 160 Hz. This is of course over DisplayPort, since the HDMI ports are only HDMI 2.0 and are limited to 4K 60. This means that if you plan on using this monitor with the PS5 or the Xbox Series X, you won't be able to hit 4K at 120 Hz for games that support it. Once the update is available, we plan on revisiting the monitor and retesting the relevant aspects. Now we'll move on to the picture quality. We'll be comparing to currently available monitors, but competing models may change as new monitors are released throughout the year. For an updated comparison with new models as we buy and test them, see the review page on our website, which is linked below. As I mentioned earlier, the monitor has an IPS panel, which are notorious for having low contrast ratios. Contrast ratio is the difference between the darkest black and the brightest white that a screen can display. The 27GN950-B is no exception to the IPS panel, with just over the advertised 1000:1 contrast ratio. This means that darker scenes can appear more gray than black. The monitor does have a local dimming feature, but unfortunately it barely affects the contrast ratio. Like most monitors with this feature, the LG 27GN950-B has an edge-lit panel, which means the light produced by the screen is emitted from the edges of the monitor. This means the local dimming feature, which allows the monitor to turn on and off sections of the panel, will turn on and off whole sections of an edge. Like the Predator X27, it's not very good and is only useful for making sure the screen can get just a bit brighter. The 27GN950-B doesn't handle reflections very well. If you're in a bright room, it might be too distracting to use properly, unless you pump up the brightness. And thankfully, this monitor does have an excellent brightness levels that can reach up to 423 nits in our real scene tests, which will help to combat that annoying glare. In HDR, it's even better, where it's able to get as bright as 730 nits on a 100% window. Out of the box, the 27GN950-B looks excellent. We selected the sRGB mode since it was the most accurate. There are only slight inaccuracies with most colors and shades of gray that most people shouldn't notice. The color temperature is only slightly warmer than our 6500K target. Unfortunately, the Gamut doesn't follow the sRGB target curve all that well, and most scenes are darker than they should be. The update that I mentioned earlier is also supposed to have a fix for this mode, but we'll have to check it out once it's available. After calibration, all inaccuracies cannot be seen by the naked eye, and it follows the gamma curve much better. We had to switch it to Gamer 1 since the sRGB mode blocks out most of the settings that we use for calibration. You can find the ICC profile and calibration settings in the full review on the website linked here. Do note though, these settings are specific to our unit and it should not be copied, as calibration does vary between units. Another important aspect of the picture quality is the color gamut. This is the range of colors that a screen can display. The wider a color gamut, the more saturated and more colors the display can reach. In SDR, the 27GN950-B has almost perfect coverage of the sRGB color space and an incredible coverage of the Adobe RGB. It'll work great in regular web viewing and will look nice for professionals who need a color-accurate screen for work. For HDR content, it has a good coverage of the P3 color space at about 84% and about 70% for the Rec 2020 color space. This is pretty good, especially as far as monitors go. While it's not perfect, depending on the content you're viewing, it could look very good. We'll finish off the picture quality with a talk about uniformity on the monitor, specifically the black uniformity. Black uniformity is the measurement of how uniform the screen is when displaying black. When there are issues, you'll see brighter spots, which are commonly called backlight bleed. Our model has one of the worst uniformities we've ever seen on a monitor, with large sections lit up across it. Fortunately, this is one thing that varies a lot due to manufacturing tolerances. Let us know in the comments below if yours is as bad as ours. Now, we'll look at the motion handling of the monitor, and we'll start with the response time. The response time is the time it takes for the monitor to switch from one color to the next. If it's bad, you'll see a faded, bright spot behind the moving text or image. Thankfully, this is not a problem at all on this monitor at both 144 Hz and 60 Hz. It has an incredible response time, and you shouldn't see any issues with it, although we recommend the fast setting, as setting it to faster adds a lot of overshoot, which can cause smearing behind moving objects. Like the response time, the input lag is incredibly good. It increases a little bit with VRR enabled, but no matter how you look at it, the input lag is very fast. You shouldn't have any issues with it whatsoever. So overall, the LG 27GN950-B is a great gaming monitor for a new, shiny setup. It has a 4K screen with a high refresh rate for anyone with a system that can push out those high frames, or if you just want the option in the future. It's simple, but with the features that make it a great gaming monitor. It's very similar in terms of performance as the popular Acer Predator X27 and the Acer Predator XB273K, but the LG is a little bit faster in the response time and has native FreeSync support compared to the Acer's native G-Sync support through the G-Sync module. And while the Predator X27 does get brighter in HDR, the LG outperforms it in almost every other way. It's also more available in general, so you're more likely to find the 27GN950-B. So that's it. What do you think of the LG 27GN950-B? Have you bought it? Let us know what you think below. You can check out all of the measurements on our website. If you like this video, subscribe to our channel or become an insider on the website for access to our latest results first. Also, we're currently hiring in our offices in Montreal for various positions, so if you want to help people find the best products for their needs, have a look at the careers page on our website. Thank you for watching. See you next time.